Hey everybody, back again. Me again, do another video. This one's going to be about Bruce Lee, but it's really going to be about Michael Jai White and what he had to say about him beating Bruce Lee, or saying he was, he could take Bruce Lee. Well, I'll read exactly verbatim what he said. He's doing this talk show. It's on YouTube, and they asked him a question. They say Bruce Lee would be no match for, and then he answered, me. And he kind of smirked a bit. He smiled. So it's like you could tell. First of all, to all you Bruce Lee fans who took it the wrong, I think what it is. A lot of you took it the wrong way. Oh, he said he could beat up Bruce Lee. He's on the show. He's actually got a sense of, he has a sense of humor. He's probably playing it up. He knew people. He's stirring the pot basically. But he knew the reaction it would get out of people, and it was funny because the reaction he got out of everyone, it seems. On the internet, the reaction to everyone in that studio was everyone's like, "What?" They all laughed when he said that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, is he serious? Is he joking around? He's just doing it to, for effect. And sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. But is this guy trying to, is he jerking our chain? Is he trying to take the piss out of the situation? But he said it kind of, to me anyway, seemed like he said it jokingly. Like it was just kind of like. And they asked him another question that who could you beat that's a part of the Expendables, and he's like, well, I could beat the Expendables, all of them. At that point, if you're gonna say you can beat Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee is he's the man, he's the measuring stick. Everybody gets compared to Bruce Lee, so you can't say you can beat Bruce Lee and then backtrack and be like, well, I could beat this guy, probably could take this guy, probably not this guy, and I could take that guy. It's like, no, at that point, you might as well go for bust, and you might as well come follow it up. Well, if I can beat Bruce Lee, that means I can beat all the Expendables. But I think, sorry, for those of you who just got all upset, you need to understand the context in which these people make the remarks that they're making. It makes for good watch. It makes for a good program. He's a good interview. It shows he has a sense of humor. Do I think he was serious? Maybe somewhat serious. If you're somebody who knows how to fight, like him, who trains or whatever, you like to think you can beat anybody. You know what I mean? And I'm sure when Bruce Lee was around, he thought he felt he could beat anybody. I don't know who. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. But he had to, as far as publicly, he had to keep up with that persona. Hold on a second. Let me grab some water. Jeez. But that's, as a celebrity, as a superstar, you have to keep up with that image, so you can't go back on that. First things first, it's been almost 45 years since Bruce Lee died, and let's say had Bruce Lee lived, okay, so here's this guy here, who I consider an actor. I like him. I like him personally as an actor. When he made those comments, I've been Bruce Lee fan since the '90s. I got into that whole kung fu movie. When Jackie Chan came out, I got into Jackie Chan, and then I learned about Bruce Lee, and I learned it that way. But I read all the books, and I was really into Bruce Lee. Excuse me, and really big time. Sorry, jeez, damn. I was really into Bruce Lee back then, and I'm really into this guy when I saw him in Spawn, because I love Spawn. Spawn's one of my favorites. And, first of all, we got to look at the facts here. Bruce Lee's been dead for about 45 years or so. Let's say if he was alive today, he'd be about, I don't know, maybe he'd have to be pushing 80, my guess. So here you have a guy, this guy, let me see, he's born in 67, so he's 49, 50, one of those. He's around 50 years old, so he's a younger guy. He's got the advantage. And as good as Bruce Lee is, he's an old man. He's going to be an old geezer. You know what I mean? You think he's going to be where he was back in the 70s now? No way. Not even Chuck Norris is like that. You know what I mean? He's going to have to take an L. So it would be easy for him to come up if they were to get into a fight. It'd be easy for this guy to come up and clean Bruce Lee. Kick his ass basically. But it's like that doesn't count, because it's like the guy's a fucking old man. He's an old man, so it doesn't count. And if you're gonna compare anybody to to Bruce Lee, or being better than Bruce Lee, you have to beat the Bruce Lee that he was in his prime. You know what I mean? Because when Bruce Lee is old, run down, when he's basically at his worst, it doesn't count. You know what I mean? So you would have to fight him at his very best and beat him. And if you could do that, then you're saying something. And if you can't do that, then hey, another thing you need to take into account ability is that when you're gonna compare someone, it can't be, say if you, for instance, you're gonna compare Michael Jai White to Bruce Lee, or say that he's better than Bruce Lee. You can't compare Michael Jai White's talents to Bruce Lee. You can't compare his skills to Bruce Lee because they're two different fighters. Like I said, I consider this Michael Jai White more of an actor, and as much of a Bruce Lee fan as I am, this Michael White guy, he's the better actor. That's just what it is. He's known for being an actor. But you have to take, like Bruce Lee is the measuring stick. You have to take the skills, the techniques, the talents that he has, and see where this guy measures up on every level. Speed, power, and all that. And that's how you measure on whether this person is just as good as that person or this person is better than that person. And if you can't do that, then fuck you. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You're just talking shit at that point. Another point is he said one of the girl in the talk show there that kind of laughed and was like, yeah, right, you can beat Bruce Lee. She's like, oh, does size matters? And he's like, oh yeah, size matters. And he kind of make like an innuendo, like, oh, size matters, because she's an attractive black woman. I don't know what she is, but she's a cutie. But he's like, oh, size matters. And Michael Jai White, what is he, like 6 foot? He looks like he's about maybe 2 and some change. He's a big guy. But another thing you have to understand, it seems like the MMA guys completely, sorry, seems like a lot of guys that are MMA, they either ignore it or they just leave it out completely because it doesn't fit into their narrative. Bruce Lee trained to fight guys twice his size. That's what self-defense is. If you're a little guy and you got a bigger guy picking on you like a bully, if you have a bigger guy picking on you, that's what the self-defense is made for, to help you out. You know what I mean? So you can fight. You're not going to be a Superman, but I mean, it'll give you a better shot with someone who's bigger than you. And usually a lot of times that's what it is. Bullies, they pick on people smaller themselves because inside they feel small. They feel inadequate. And picking on someone who's lesser than them as opposed to someone who's the same size or even bigger than them, it's just out of the question. They're just not going to do it because they know they would get their ass handed to them. But a lot of these guys, and even Michael White, it's like you're going to fight. You're probably used to competing with guys who are the same weight class, same division, all that, who are basically on the same keel as you. Well, Bruce Lee wasn't about that. That's why he said competition fighting was useless, because you can't use that shit in the real world. What if you fight someone who's bigger than you? You know what I mean? If size matters, what if you come along and fight someone or pick a fight with someone who's bigger than you, stronger, faster than you? You're going to get your fucking clock cleaned. And are you ready for that? None of those MMA guys are ready for that shit because they all fight in their weight divisions. Well, there's no weight division in a real fight. So good luck with that. You're fucked basically. But as far as me being a Bruce Lee fan, and the thing is, this Michael character, he came out and he apologized for what he said. He don't need to apologize to me because I know what Bruce Lee is and I know what he isn't. And I'm a fan, and even to those of you who watch my videos and say, oh, well, Bruce Lee was just an actor, this and that and the other, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't hate you for that. Like I said, you're entitled to that. You can think what you want, but I know the truth. You know what I mean? And here's the thing is, the truth is out there. Like, you can learn about the guy. Instead of like trying to debate me or debate anybody else, how about you just go out and learn about the guy? Like, learn the real facts and the truth about the guy. There is a lot of myth. There is, but the facts are out there. There's people that trained and lived with him that were around. There's the books he put out himself. It's like, why don't you go read, hear it from the horse's mouth. But as a Bruce Lee fan, what do you care? First of all, he's doing a show. She's doing the show, and when you go on the show and be interviewed, no one wants to interview a starfish. No one wants to interview a fucking stiff. You want to get on the show, be entertaining, maybe crack a few jokes, maybe some at your expense. But you want it to be interesting because they have to sell that. People that'll listen to their radio station, people you're tuning in your car, you want to hear something that's entertaining and interesting. You want to hear something where you're gonna laugh and really think. You know what I mean? Like you have to chop it up and be entertaining. So I think for those of you, don't get so. Don't get so ruffled over what he said. He apologized. Me personally, like I said, he didn't need to apologize to me because I know the truth. Bruce Lee's been dead, first of all. Do I think it's disrespectful? No, I don't really think it's disrespectful. All he said, personally, I think it was just an off the cuff comment that he made. But it's like, the guy's dead. He's in his grave. You can think what you want, but you'll never get to prove it, So that's just what it is. He left at the height of his game, basically. He left when Bruce Lee died. He left on top. You know what I mean? That's the way to go out, really, when you think about it. But there's no need to get all ruffled up about it, and just understand the context of which it is being said, or what he's saying. And if you're really a Bruce Lee fan and you know the truth and the facts about Bruce Lee, then what does it matter? The thing is, Bruce Lee's, like I said, Bruce Lee's been dead for about 45 years, and people are still talking about him. And if you notice, all these other martial artists, Bruce Lee's a measuring stick for all these other guys. And when you're the greatest, everybody gets compared to you. They use you as a measuring stick. So, to all the detractors, to all the haters, you can say what you want. Bruce Lee did something right. You know what I mean? There was something there that worked because people are still talking about it. So he wasn't just all talk, and he wasn't just all a movie star. You know what I mean? There was more to him than that he lasted that long. Let me see some of you guys last that long. 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Let's see if they're talking about you like that. There are real fighters, legit fighters, professionals, even today, who respect the guy because they know what he really was. If you really learned about the guy, what he talked the talk, he walked the walk. He was a martial artist first and an actor second. But that's it. That's all I have to say about that. I just want to chime in, throw my 2 cents on that subject. Michael Jai White didn't owe me an apology. I don't see any disrespect. If he came out and was disrespectful about it, like, fuck Bruce Lee, I whoop his ass back then, and I whoop his ass now. You know what I mean? Like I said, you would have to fight the Bruce Lee in his prime, the guy he was before he died. That's the guy you would have to fight to prove that you're better than him. And Bruce Lee, his self-defense was made. His self-defense Jeet Kune Do style was made so he could fight guys bigger than him. You know what I mean? You're ready. Basically, you're ready for any situation. So, and here's a guy who's competing with guys in the same weight class. So it's just there's really no argument there. You know what I mean? Like fight someone twice your size and let's see how that works out for you. You know what I mean? You can't. If size matters so much, but no need to get ruffled up about it. He was just making a funny off the you gotta talk with confidence. You know what I mean? You're a fighter, you're a movie star. You gotta talk with confidence. You can't come out and say, "Oh, well, I think this guy's better than me, or that guy's better than me. The other guy here is better than me." No, you're not gonna come like that. You're gonna prop yourself up. That's just fucking normal. I'm sure Bruce Lee did the same shit. So to all you Bruce Lee fans, just don't get all winded about it. Learn to see things in their proper context. You know what I mean? That's it, and that's all I have to say about that. So y'all take care. Have a good night, and peace. Take care.